Welcome to another episode of Acroyoga with Super Dave. And as you just saw, today we're going to do wheel on plow. I have Cosette here. She's actually going to be basing today. We're playing with each other's strengths, so she's a little bit more flexible. It's going to make that pose a little easier for her to do. Before we do that, we're going to practice some stretches so that your body is prepared for the pose. If you are going to be the base, you're going to practice plow pose. So plow, you're bringing your feet over your head. You may shift the weight in your head initially, but you want to centralize the majority of the weight through the shoulders, okay? Hips stay over the shoulders. Get very comfortable with that. Usually you might have to go through a little bit of a warm-up to get comfortable in that. If you plan to take the variations, then, which we're gonna do today, then you're gonna have to also practice splits. Okay, Cosette's gonna show you the kind of the progression towards moving into your splits. So this is your half splits. If you get a little bit more comfortable, you can slide the feet further out. So in this case, she's going right into full splits. Perfect. As the flyer, you're gonna have to warm up your back. So in this case, you can start off with camel, hands onto your heels. Make sure you're pushing your hips over your knees. Spend a few breaths in there. And then you gotta move into wheel. So the particular approach that we're gonna go into wheel today, we're gonna apply to our pose. I'm gonna put my hands beside my head. And then from here, I'm gonna push up and then just gonna rest the top of my head onto the mat. So there's not a lot of pressure. It's just, an intermediate pose for me to move into full wheel. I'm gonna push to my hands. I'm just gonna practice walking the hands a little bit closer in towards the feet. Okay, spend a few breaths there, and then come all the way out. So now that you're warmed up, ready for the pose, Cosette's gonna start on her back. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. So she's gonna set up her hands so that her wrists are over her elbows, okay? Ideally, you want your elbows in so that they're not splaying out. Okay, the wider they are out, the less stable you are. You want to keep the wrists right over the elbows, the hands nice and close together. Okay, from here, I'm going to place my feet. So notice her grip. Her peace fingers are wrapping around my heels, and then her pinky and ring finger is around the outside edge of my foot, and her thumb is on the inside of my foot. Okay. So I'm gonna approach this the same way I did on the ground, except, I'm on my Cosette's feet now. So I'm gonna press into the feet, slide the top of my head onto the mat, and then I'm gonna press up into my wheel. From here, we've already determined that I'm gonna shift to the left and then lift the right foot up. She's gonna straighten out her arm, followed by the other. This is where I walk my hands in. So I wanna walk in. Wow, it seems so far away. Okay, so I'm gonna walk in, and she's gonna put her feet on my shoulders. So this is gonna be variation 1. Variation 2, we're gonna come into a split. She's gonna pull one leg back. Variation 3, I'm gonna shift to one of her hands, and then extend my leg. So I'm pointing the toes, piking the leg down. Variation 4, she's gonna bend her foot, place her foot to the ground. This is a very deep stretch in the legs. Then to come out, I'm gonna come out this way. Yeah. Good work. Okay, so you may not be able to play with all the variations depending on your flexibility and then depending on your strengths. Just kind of, see who does better in what role and then work with that. And then you'll progress into perhaps playing with both roles as well. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments box below, and we'll see you in the next episode.